Hey guys, Sophia here with Turquoise Toffee, and I'm back with another video. Today we're talking about the 2024 IFBB Pro League Sampson Showdown. We've got Pro Wellness and Pro Masters Wellness results with some absolutely gorgeous athletes competing in this show. And in terms of Olympia 2024, of course, last year's top three are automatically qualified. And then within the qualification period, it's the winner of each contest in the Open. So the Masters girls don't qualify for the Olympia, but the Open division does. All right, so starting with the Open, we've got first place, Bruna. Second, Cassandra. Third, Natalia. Fourth, Alicia. And fifth, Brooke. And looking at the points, it was a very even score. So beginning with Brooke in fifth place, she looks lovely. I like her suit. I think she's got some really beautiful glutes. The shape, the roundness, stunning. Great curves. I love this definition she has right here in the hip where the glute comes in. Nice line coming down around the quad. Gorgeous hamstrings, a nice curve here to this quad. I think overall she looks really lovely. Good conditioning, just enough to show some of these lines, though I do think even from behind she could have a tiny bit more conditioning, just a little bit more sharpness to the lines. We'll get there in a second. I'm also not crazy about her posing. I do find that she's a little bit leaning forward in her upper body. It does do a nice job of showing her small waist and showcasing the delt, but when you compare her to the other girls who are a lot more upright, it's less of a natural, relaxed, easygoing pose. So I think she could play with that a little bit more just to try to not be at such an angle. I think it would be a bit more flattering to your eye, kind of caressing over the shape of her silhouette, right? You want the eye to really travel. But overall, I think she looks really beautiful. Great suit. Her hair looks nice. Her tan. Gorgeous. Okay, next in fourth place is Alicia. This is exactly what I mean about a little bit more upright. So you definitely notice her upper body looks a bit more poised. She's not slanted over. She's very tall. You get that triangular shape with the lat and the delt coming into the small waistline. It just overall makes a better silhouette that your eye really travels over. I think she's got a beautiful glute, really nice legs, though for wellness, I think she could have more size. I think she could have a bit more of that crazy dominance to the lower body where the quads are super big, the hamstrings are super big, everything is exaggeratedly big in the lower body compared to the upper body. But I think her posing is beautiful. I think she's got a really nice glute, and I think her conditioning is lovely also. You've got some lines coming in detailing the legs. You've got some nice definition in her abs. I think her shoulders look good, but she's not overly hard and cut and covered in lines. So beautiful posing. I like her suit. I love her hair. It's very Victoria's Secret model. I think she looks gorgeous. Okay, next and third is Natalia. Holy smokes, there is some big size in her legs. She's also really conditioned, so you definitely notice the muscles in the legs. You notice those lines. You notice the outlining by her glute. Absolutely amazing. I'm loving the legs. I do think, however, the conditioning is too much compared to the other girls. They're all a little bit softer in the lines, and Natalia stands out for how deep and visible her lines are. So I think she kind of went just a little bit too much with that. I would have softened the look a bit more. But also I do think from a size perspective, whether it's just the conditioning is highlighting it, I do think she has a bit too much size in her arms. I'm noticing her traps. I'm noticing the delts. I think she could try to slim those down and just have a little bit less muscle in the arm for that real dominance in the lower body that they want in wellness rather than a balance. But I do think she's got a really tiny waistline, beautiful hair, nice suit color. The posing to me could be bigger. I think she could try to open up the upper body so that we see a little bit more of the lat, a bit more of that curvy shape, that triangular shape as well. And I think her legs are a bit close together here. I would separate the feet so that we can see the back leg more and really get a good view of the quad and the ham. All right, next in second place is Cassandra. Okay, a lot softer in her conditioning, and it's very beautiful. It's lovely. She's got a beautiful skin tone, nice round, curvy shapes. I think her posing is nice to show off her small waist, the lat and the delt, so you get that nice, your eye really travels to the small waistline in that beautiful shape. Her conditioning is gorgeous. You've got the line coming down her hip. You've got a little bit of detail in the very side of her glute here. Nice lines into the legs. Just overall, she looks very lovely and very pleasant. I do think from this front pose, she could have more size, again, in the legs. I think there just needs to be bigger, more of that crazy exaggerated shape. So more quad sweep, even larger glutes from the side here. But I'm loving the proportions with her upper body. I think she's got really nice small waist, good lats and delts. So keep everything up top the same, but just a little bit more size in the bottom to really compare with our first place winner. Okay, so here's Bruna in first. I couldn't find a good photo of that side pose, so I've kind of given you two where she's sideways but not really posing, and then her front pose. So first of all, I love the color of her suit. It's like almost a minty green. It's not as bright green as like a Kelly green or a forest green. I think it's really pretty. I love her small waist. You definitely notice it in the front, but my gosh, do you ever notice it in the side pose? Super teeny tiny waist, and that really helps you to see the bigness of her lower body. So she's got gorgeous round glutes, beautiful quads, really large, really curved, and great conditioning. Enough lines to outline the muscles and really highlight the shapes without being overly detailed and cut and ripped looking. I think she's got nice lines in her arms, nice curves, nice definition. So the delts have a beautiful outline. She's got great muscle in the arms, so they're not totally straight, but they're not also too big either. So the focus is definitely on the lower body. And I just think overall she looks beautiful. And in the lineup, I think she does a great job with her posing and just the proportions. So let's look at the lineup. Here we go. So here's where I think Bruna really shines. You definitely notice her tiny waist. I think Cassandra as well, the small waist. But it's that lower body. You definitely see how much size she has in her quad and her glute compared to Cassandra. So a lot of size in the glute itself and a lot of size into the legs. And then that small waist and just a very nice pretty amount of muscle in her upper body. I think when you look to Natalia beside her, you see more muscle in the upper body, you see more ab, not quite as teensy of a waistline, and just a lot more lines in her legs. So I think, again, the conditioning was a bit much, but also the muscle is a bit much in the upper body. Cassandra, I think, could just have a bit more quad sweep, more glute. Brooke, this is where I think you'll notice what I meant about the posing. It's just less natural, less poised in her upper body. I think she could be straighter, not quite so much of a lean, and it would be more flattering to her shape. And then Alicia, I think, looks beautiful. Her styling with the hair, the suit, her posing is great. Maybe she could be a bit more sideways to like Cassandra and Bruna to really show off the smallness of her waist. But I think here you can see what I mean about she could even have more size in her lower body. And then from behind, stunning. Everybody looks great. I'm actually really drawn to Natalia. I love how clearly you see the outline of her tie-ins, but I do still think that it's maybe just a tad too much. When you see Bruna, they're not quite as sharp, particularly on the outside edge. I think Cassandra has beautiful curves in her legs, but she could have more length coming into the glutes. I think she could have even more size here. Brooke, beautiful curve, beautiful height and roundness, but I think the definition could have been just a bit more into the tie-in area. And then Alicia, really nice size in the glutes, but I think we're not quite getting the sweep of the quads as well. Maybe just a bit more bend to the knee, and that would really make them pop and give you that more rounded shape. Like you definitely notice a curviness to Cassandra and Bruna, for example, whereas Alicia, I'm noticing more of a straightness. But overall, I think the hair looks beautiful on everyone. Nice delts showing through. Beautiful size. It's a great wellness lineup. Okay, as for masters, we had two categories, 35 plus and 40 plus, with ultimately the same competitors -1. So in 35 plus, we had Alicia in first, Jenny in second, Tammy in third, and Wendy in fourth. And then the 40 plus was the same order, just without Alicia. So Jenny in first, Tammy in second, and Wendy in third. And as far as points are concerned, it was quite close between Tammy and Wendy both times. So here's Wendy in fourth place in the 35 plus, third place in 40 plus. I couldn't find a really good side pose of Wendy. I always try to use the side poses. So this still gives you a nice idea of her shape, of her size, beautiful glutes. I think you see that really nice roundness here. Gorgeous delts as well. Now, clearly she's not quite in the pose. We'll get there in a second. But even so, I think she has to be really careful to make sure that her waistline looks really tiny, just to try to keep everything really tight and pose in a way that's as most flattering as possible to the waistline. But I still also think that she could have more size. I think more quad sweep, the back leg as well, to really bring the foot out a little further so we can see more of the quad, but also just to have more muscle there as well. But I do think she's got beautiful glutes and really nice delts, and overall beautiful suit color, lovely hair. I love that her nail polish matches too. So a nice look from Wendy. When we get to the back pose, I do have a little bit of comments on the conditioning, but I think in this front pose, she looks really nice. You've got good outlining of the delts. You've got some nice detail in the abs, some good lines in the legs. Calves look great. So overall, she looked really beautiful. Next, in third place in the 35 plus and second in 40 plus is Wendy. No side pose again. We'll get there in a second, but you can see here she's got some great size in the quads, a beautiful sweep, a nice size in her upper body as well. Great ab definition. Holy smokes, really good lines into the torso. You can see she's got some nice glute, though I do think she could have even more size here to exaggerate that crazy curve like you see on some of the other competitors. I'll have more to say about Tammy when we get to the lineup photos. I do think she needs to be very careful with her posing to make sure that that waistline is as flattering as possible. But overall, really pretty. I think she could have done a little bit more bold of a lip, honestly, just to really play up the pink of her suit. Okay, next in second place in 35 plus and first place in 40 plus was Jenny. She looks great. She's doing a great job with the posing to show off her small waist, to get that kind of triangular look in her upper body, though I do think she could be even more twisted so that this back shoulder is more to the front and this front shoulder is more to the side. I think that would really open up her upper body and give you a really nice view of the back and that curve to the back. I think she's got a nice glute, but she could have a little bit more size up here on the top of the glute. And while she has really beautiful lines and detail and conditioning into the legs, I still think even Jenny could have more size in the quads. Just a more exaggerated sweep, a bigger curve to the back leg as well. But I think she looks really beautiful. I like the posing. I like her suit color. I love the hair with the side part. It looks very just feminine and pretty and gentle and delicate. And I think she looks really beautiful. And now Alicia in first place in the 35 plus. We've already talked about her, so let's look at the lineup. So here's where I think you can see Alicia is really shining. She's got great size in her glutes, by far the largest glutes on this stage. She's got that nice curve here. I think you can see what I mean about Jenny could just have a little bit more size to the top, but great delts. Alicia's posing, I think, is very flattering to her waistline, as is Jenny. I think Tammy is far too forward facing. She should be a bit more to the side to not have so much of the straightness of her waist showing. She should try to be more sideways, really show how tiny her waistline is. Wendy is doing a good job here with the waist, but I'm not seeing her legs well enough. So I think more space in between the feet really give us a nice view of the back leg. But I think Alicia is doing a great job. She's got some good size in the legs. Jenny, I'm noticing her hamstrings. They look fabulous. But Alicia has just a little bit more curve in the glute and a little bit more overall size. And then from behind, and just notice here, Jenny and Tammy have switched places. I think Alicia and Jenny are showing the conditioning a little bit better than our other two athletes. You see the tie-ins more clearly. You see a little bit more lines coming down into the leg. I think Wendy for sure needs more tie-in. Tammy could use a little bit more as well. Alicia, I think you definitely notice the size in her legs here. I think Jenny could have a bit more curve to the inside thigh to really compare with Alicia. You're noticing her sweep beautifully in this photo. Jenny has that great sweep as well, but I think just needs more. Crazier, exaggerated shapes, I think, overall. So a little more conditioning from Wendy and Tammy, a little more size from Jenny, but Alicia takes the cake here. She's got great size, great conditioning, great posing. And okay, in terms of Olympia, there's Bruna added to the list. So that's it for this recap. Of course, there are more shows coming up this weekend. I will recap those as soon as I can. Please give me a like if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, comment your thoughts below, and come find me. I'm on Instagram at turquoise toffee.